Welcome back everybody to another video. In this video we're here with a 2010 Kia Rio. We have an alternator we got to replace. We got a code for the alternator going out. Voltage is going crazy. And so I'm just going to take you through step by step, tell you exactly what tools to use, everything, so that you can replace your alternator too. Like, share, subscribe, and let's get into it. Here's the alternator we're using. It's not a super expensive car, so we just went with a Reman Duralast 11452. Step 1, pop your hood. To get better visual access and arm access and all that stuff, you can either turn this wheel on the passenger side all the way to the right, or you can just remove it with a 21mm socket and take all 4 lug nuts off and just put it out of your way. And then you'll have much more room to get in to where the tensioner and the belt and alternator is. Very important, step number 2, we need to disconnect the battery, because this feeds power directly to the alternator. And if we're trying to disconnect the alternator and that power wire touches ground, we're going to short out this battery. We don't want to do that. Use a 10mm to loosen up this bolt slash nut right here. Once you get a decent amount of turns, should just wiggle, take it, pull it off, and then just jam it under here so it won't accidentally connect while you're doing the rest of your work. It's easier to get to the alternator connector here from the top. So you reach in here, there's a little squeeze clip, and then you pull it off. Now we need to get to the positive terminal. It's got a little black door that covers. There's a little black door that covers the power terminal right there. You flip that door open, and now we can get to the bolt that holds on the positive wire. You're going to use a 12mm short socket. You're going to go down in here, grab onto that bolt, and you're going to break it loose. And then you're going to take the nut off. After getting the nut off, you just slide the cable off of the stud. You have wiring attached to the alternator. Take a panel popper and you're going to slide it off with a panel popper like so. Right there is the tensioner hold down. It's a 12mm. See right there? So you slide that on. We just need to loosen this a few turns. This is what holds the tensioner from backing in or out once you have the belt tight. Alright, now we have this outside belt that goes on the water pump, the crank, and the alternator. So we have to loosen the tensioner now. So I have a little stubby ratcheting wrench right there. So I have enough clearance, and we're just going to loosen it as far as we can, and then we're going to take the belt off. On the bottom of the alternator, you also have another nut with a bolt, and the bolt goes all the way around, and it turns into that flat square piece right there, and we have to remove that entirely. Use a panel popper to remove this wiring harness from the alternator right there. It's now time to fully remove this tensioner piece here. We no longer need it on. Once we remove this, we'll just have the bolt at the bottom holding it into the vehicle. Tap up on the alternator with a extension or anything and a little rubber hammer. That will push it forward. In turn, that will loosen this belt. And now we can just pull this belt off, sort of hang it off to the side. Leave the bolt in the same way you take it out. You should have some circle rub marks, but that way you don't get confused on which direction it goes. When you're going to mount it back, This is the above, and then it bolts below. So that'll be the top and bottom here that way. There's not enough room here to get the alternator out without removing the oil filter. So I'm gonna be careful, remove the oil filter nice and easy like, and that'll give us the room to slide the alternator out of here. It's always a really good idea to take any bolts that you're gonna reuse, clean them with a wire wheel, because you don't want the threads full of gunk when you try to put it back together. So just clean it all up. Look how nice and pretty it is now. All ready to go back together. This power steering line bracket is kind of in the way. Uses a 12mm. So you just push the power steering off and out of the way, and just take this one bolt out, and then that bracket will come out. You're gonna pry it out by jamming a pry bar in this gap right here, and then we just sort of need to spin and rotate and get it out of this hole, which is going to require 2 hands. But just spin it around a bunch and you should be able to get it out, no problemo. Now that the alternator's out, it's a good time to pretty much clean anything you want to clean. Make sure the new one 100% matches the old one. Plug placement, this placement here, same, everything looks the same. Because if it's wrong and you try to put it in there, you're gonna have problems later. Always visually verify before you even waste your effort to put it in. You start off by getting that bolt foot put through. Now we're gonna go from the top. Push the alternator up in towards the block, and then we're gonna attach this adjuster deal here through the bracket and get it mounted in there just to hold it. We got this bolt in finger tight. We got this one here loose still. So now we're going to put the belt on. Got the belt back on. Now that bolt down there, we're just going to hand tighten it until we get it close, and then we're going to use the baby ratchet to tighten it until the belt feels nice and snug. Don't go crazy on it because you don't want the belt to put too much pressure onto the bearings and then fry the new alternator. After getting the belt snug, you're going to tighten down the locking bolt, which is this one that goes through the center. Just give it a nice little torque. Don't go crazy with it. It doesn't need to be that tight. Reconnect the main power wire and the regulator plug. Reconnect the battery terminal. Close it. Tighten down this little bolt here. Now the alternator will not move whatsoever. Reclip in the wiring harness into this bottom corner of the alternator. Rehook the power steering line. Put the bolt in and tighten it down. With the alternator tight, you should just be able to spin this long section 90 degrees, and it should move total from like edge to edge about 1/4 of an inch, which this looks good. If it doesn't move at all, that's too tight. If it moves all crazy, then obviously it's too loose. Hopefully this video helped you out, saved you some money, gave you some skills. Look out for some more videos in the future. I have one coming out every week, most of the time, unless something happens. But like, share, subscribe. Till next time, wrench on.